Hey everybody! I hope everybody's doing well today for a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, depending where you're located. Um, just been plainly busy during the week, due to a lot of calls coming in. So I've been kept busy during the week. And my lovely, so lovely girlfriend by the name of Denise Oles, who I've been chatting with in between calls. I love her to death. Um, we've been talking quite a bit. She's going to be coming up soon uh, to my place, so I'll be able to introduce her to you guys as well. So that way you get to see my lovely, beautiful girlfriend, possibly future wife, and we'll have some fun. We've been doing a lot of talking as of lately. She's going to be coming up here soon enough. Since she and her sisters are both living in Canada, so that's a good sign. And she's close by, so I can't wait to see her and then be able to introduce her to you guys and everything else. And uh, I'm getting ready for vacation in 2 weeks as well. It feels like I'm already overdue by now for my second week of vacation. A lot of running around has been getting done at work, so stress levels are slightly there. And we do have a new person in our group that we've been training as well. So when somebody like Anne, which is my colleague that's on vacation this coming week and the week after, and then her and I switch, she comes back, I come back, I go for on vacation for 1 week, and take my vacation as well. My colleague and friend that's on the overnight shift, Norman, comes back this coming Monday. So he was already actually off 2 weeks previously, last week and the week before, on the overnight shift. So between the day shift and the night shift, it's not so much of a lot of calls to take care of or a lot of emails to take care of. Usually by the time they get in, we've cleared everything out for email wise. So there still might be some emails coming in here and there for them, but it's not as bad as it is during the daytime when Anne and myself are usually there regarding emails, regarding calls coming in, things like that. Anne and myself, we tend to manage the calls very well. So I mean, we're both on more than on time and hitting our numbers in regards to that. I'm still kind of. I'm not really saying I'm playing catch up with Anne, but I'm Anne's backup in regards to the emails when she doesn't want to do anymore. I tend to quickly come in and do them without any hesitation, without even her asking. Sometimes if there's just overwhelming for her, she says, "Carl, can you take care of it?" Boom, I'm on it, and I don't mind. So it's a great thing between us because we have that type of open relationship where we communicate very well in regarding to work stuff. The only thing that I'm having major problems with, and this seems like an ongoing issue with everybody in our call center, both the U.S. and the Canadian side, is our software for answering phone calls. Uh, Especially the client side for us, where we take the calls in. A lot of the time, especially when we're working remotely, the communications between the thin client and the actual server itself tends to go wonky and tends to disconnect you quite frequently. I've noticed this several times during the week that I get 5 or 6 different disconnects off of the phone servers, and I'm about ready to smack that software into next week because it's just a pain in the rear end using something like that. You know, I don't mind calls coming in back to back, things like that, but when it's disconnecting itself for unknown reasons, that's what it really gets into it, and I can't do much because I'm just the front linesman there, and I can't do much about that. So tough noogies for my part on this. Other things, my brother's doing okay. He's working and living in Toronto. He's doing okay there, which I'm happy for, and his wife and his daughter, which Hannah, which is my niece, is looking adorable. I'm happy for him that he has a daughter, that he has kids already. I'm just wishing I could have a kid with a girlfriend or a wife. You know, what can you do, right? Can't do much. And considering that I've been out of the dating range for the longest time because not because I didn't want to, it's because it's more difficult or trying to find that right person to be part of your life. And some people are more demanding than others. And some others just don't want to understand. It's like, no, it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. You know? And there's always trying to work around it to make things improve for both sides. You know? I found myself a beautiful young lady, a twin. Uh, she's beautiful. She's everything I was expecting to be, and we're both loving each other for who we are, both internally and out. So that's the main thing for me. I don't look at anything else. And she keeps reinforcing, oh, don't start treating me, don't start. And I said, I haven't looked. All I see is you, that's all I want. But still, it's one of those things. Anyhow, the day is still young. It's just 10 o'clock right now in the morning. I'm just getting ready to go out. I have to go get some minor things that I forgot to get yesterday from Maxi, which is our grocery store close by. I forgot to get some peanut butter and some cold cuts because I usually have sandwiches during lunchtime. So I have to go out and get that and come back home with it. Other than that, everything else has been okay. I haven't I have tools from Ryobi, which is a product line through Home Depot. It's one of their in-store brands, and I love their tools and all that. And I'm part of these groups on Facebook for Ryobi, so they have some in the States and they have one in Canada, and I'm part of both groups, and we usually talk a lot about the tools in general, projects that we're working with, or that we work on with these tools. And sometimes we help each other out with current tools that we have, or like in my case, and some of the other ones that have this, they have the stick vacs. So we tend to help each other out, choosing the right stick vac, what type of stick vac, should they get, as well as some people who don't know this, especially with stick vacs, shop vacs, or like wet and dry vacuum cleaners in general. What else? Besides some of the brushless tools like the Sawzall and the Sawzall, and some of the other products that are power intensive, especially if you're not new to it. And this is applied generally to all power tools that run on batteries. Okay, I'm not specifically picking on Ryobi per se, but that's what I've been using as a tool. And most other people, I even tell my friend Steve, who has the DeWalt, which again, it's perfectly fine, and I should respect his tools, and he knows that when I use them with him, when I'm at his place and I'm with him and we're doing stuff and we're using his tools, he's more than well aware that I respect the tool. I clean it up as if it's like brand new out of the box, and some people just don't understand, especially for the battery wise, when they say best worked with a minimum of 4 amp hour batteries. And I said, okay, that's what you need, is a bare minimum. And I usually have plenty around of 4 amp hour batteries, along with 2 6 amp hours and 2 9 amp hours. So I have I have plenty of 4 amp hours just for the bare minimum for what I need to do. Like if it's vacuuming, I know, like for example, the first floor for my mom where she's living, and when I do the vacuuming up there, I know one 4 amp hour battery, whether it's high capacity or it's a high performance one, I can get the whole floor done and still have 1 bar left almost, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Uh, which means I can clean. I can vacuum upstairs without any problems. Uh, if you and I notice for sure on some of the lower ones. Hold on. And I notice if you're using a lower power battery, like a 3 amp hour as an example, the tool won't work too well because it cuts out because it's drawing too much. It's drawing more than what the battery can offer. So I usually use a 4 just for minimal sake to get things done. If I know I'm going to do a lot of vacuuming, like 2 4s, then I'll switch over to a 6 amp hour battery, which I can give upstairs, the main floor, and the basement floor, to vacuum there. And believe it or not, some of the stick vacs like what I have at home here, the PCL 720, does a great job when you have the dual rollers on it on the base there to vacuum the stuff up. And it takes me about an hour in total to do upstairs and the basement floor. It used to take my parents, when they were doing the vacuuming upstairs, it took them over 2 hours. But again, that's because they're also elderly. They're an elderly couple, so I expect them to take a little bit longer than normal to get things done. Again, that's a thing that you can't what's the word I'm looking. You can't overemphasize. So it is what it is. So otherwise, then I really enjoy these products too, and working with them when I'm using them outside. Anyhow, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this here short right now. I have to get some things done, and I'll be back later on. Okay? I'll see you then. Hey everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay today. I'm doing okay, and sorry about the long delay. I was supposed to get this here posted up already last Saturday or Sunday, but things caught up in real life for me, so I couldn't post anything as far as vlog. Oh, the gangs have fun. Besides what was happening last week, this week has been kind of busy. Work-wise, we had a new employee that's actually working during the mornings up until 3:30, which is a great thing. And a lot has been getting done, especially for emails and all that. So when we're replying back, we're actually clearing out everything quite quickly. So that's a good sign. The new hire hasn't done any calls yet, so that's coming up soon eventually. Once she's ready and everything's comfortable with the other things that she has to get done, along with what we usually do. So she is helping out quite a bit for emails, which is a great thing. And we still pick up whatever is left over between myself and the other reps on the floor. So it's a good sign. Next week, not this week coming up, the week after, I'm actually on vacation for 1 week. So I have 1 more week to go with the new employee while my colleague Anne is actually on vacation. So she's doing well over there. I know she's enjoying herself. I haven't heard from her, so she's actually staying off of media for the time being. But in the meantime, I'm still doing what I like to do over here. Denise, which is my new girlfriend, she's doing well over here. I'm going to actually try to post a picture of her at the end or somewhere in the middle here of Denise, so you guys have an idea of what she looks like. So that way you have an idea of what she is, of who she is. She's a very beautiful young lady living in Canada as well, and she also has a twin sister. So seems like two twin sisters at 6 foot, quite tall, and I'm only 5'9", 5'10". and everything looks going okay over there with that. She wants to get together with me and have a family, so that's going to be a different story entirely, which is going to be good. I've been wanting to have a family myself and having kids and a wife and all that good stuff that comes with having a family. Uh, the things that I find different right now is I'm trying to work that out with doing work and the other stuff and taking care of my mom. And I've been talking with my mom regarding my girlfriend here as well. Trying to get her up to speed, saying, look, I still love you. You're still my mom. I'm still going to help you out and all this. But I also have a girlfriend who's interested in me, who I want to be with for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to introduce her to my girlfriend as well, so that way she can get used to her, and as well eventually introduce her to my brother and his wife and his kids. So that'll be interesting to see when the time comes for that, and eventually take care of being with her, moving in with her eventually once she gets the place settled here, and being able to have a family of our own, and still help out my mom, of course. I'm not going to abandon my mom, and be able to do the stuff that we need to do. So right now, I'm actually just heading out to get some groceries done. The week overall, the weather has been crazy, especially Wednesday, Thursday, where we received a ton of rain. I swear to God, I thought I was taking a shower with my clothes on, which looked kind of funny. By the time I got home, I was drenched. I was basically, with my running shoes, I sounded like I was squeaking on cement. Those comedy routines there that you see, where you hear the squeak, 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 as they do the walking and all that. So it's really funny. So the weather's been rather hot, and I'll admit that. And thank God for air conditioning and things like having a fan around the house. I have this one here that I actually have, that I'm running off of batteries from Ryobi, and it's still a full battery on a 4 amp hour. But I have another one like this that I do bring with me upstairs, because I do take call. I'm working remotely from home, so I have something like this upstairs with me as well, on the kitchen table, so I can actually take calls. And I basically turn this here off when I am answering calls and all that. So when time comes back on where I can actually disconnect from the client and keep on doing what I have to do, the fan comes back on to keep me cool. And I like this. I like a small breeze with me when I'm working too, just to keep me cool, because I find I'm continuously hot, not like sweating hot, but just very warm because of the nature of our bodies, and I just like keeping cool a little bit. And it's just that right now, because of the heat, which is above 20 degrees, and there's no breeze outside, it gets a little bit to me. And also I have to take it easy because I'm slightly overweight still. So with that there, I'm doing the thing that I need to do to keep myself cool and collective during the summertime here. And having these fans are very helpful. I do have a larger fan at home that I have in the other room, which is a 7.5 inch fan, which also works great, especially when I'm dealing with sleeping, because I find that a little breeze always helps out. And it's not because of the noise factor of the fans, it's just I always like to have a cool room to sleep in and be able to fall asleep a lot quicker than without the fan. During the wintertime, these things are still running during the winter, but it's just to keep the air circulation going, because I find air that's stagnant just makes it harder for me to breathe and all that. So that's why I like having these fans, and I don't mind replacing these every so often when the motor does burn out. And I just wish that sometimes these not the batteries themselves, but the fans, because I use them quite a bit, they should have gone with the brushless motor on these ones, because for the simple fact that, yeah, they are running 24/7. And the brush motors on these fans tend to wear out very quickly if they're running 24/7. especially on high. So that's one thing I might even make a suggestion to Ryobi there to see specifically for these type of fans. Maybe they should get a brushless motor in them. It may be a little bit more expensive than they currently are, but it's well worth it in the long run for that. And that way they know it's going to last a lot longer. But I like them overall. I like my tools as well, and I especially love using my stick vac from Ryobi, just because it's cordless and I don't have to plug myself in. And I know with the 4 amp hour batteries, I never have to worry about plugging myself in because I'm nowhere near a socket or a plug to plug them in. Whereas with my father's older shop vacuum cleaners, they're all plugs, and it's trying to find a long enough extension to plug it in and then do what you need to do with them. And that I just typically don't like. I just prefer being cordless and things like that. I do understand being corded, like if you're using circular saws, or if you're using something like as a table saw as an example, where you need to be corded in, which I totally, completely understand. But it's just when you're not near a plug, cordless is the best way of going about it, you know. But when you're out in the open, like out in front, and you have a long enough extension cord to do what you need to do, then yeah, go for it. So I'll be back in a few to continue on, because this is going to be a really long video in regards to these things, and hopefully I'll check with my girlfriend Denise to see if it's okay if I can post a picture in this vlog. Okay, so I'll see you guys soon enough. Speak to you soon. Well, I'm back. Still Saturday here. It hasn't changed yet. I just actually got out and did the grocery shopping and all that too over here. Got back in. I brought in about 3 bags, 3 large bags of groceries, which is fairly a lot, and put them away. Even before I left to get to grocery shopping, I had to get my mom's lunch prepared for her, so she was kind of hungry before I left. Got her lunch before I left. Went out, helped my mom pay some bills, so I was actually at the bank to pay her bills off for her, so I did that right away. Then I went to the bank, to the grocery store, walked through the store to pick up some stuff. Don't you like it sometimes when you're looking for something really specific, that sometimes you can find it and other times you cannot? They move certain products into certain areas, and it's like, but it was here last week. What happened to it? You know, and then somebody else decides, oh, put it in the another aisle or something like that. You know, and it's just a pain in the badutski sometimes, and it's like pain in the rear ass. Not only that, I actually was looking upstairs. Like, I brought some stuff home. I brought the stuff that I needed to get home for home, and every so often I'll usually make cinnamon buns from Pillsbury for my mom and myself. So I usually cook those up in the air fryer, so they're nice and toasty done. For me I don't really like using the large oven per se, because it's a lot of room to heat up things, you know. Things like I can understand like a pie, like a 3 meat pie or something like that, where it won't exactly fit into it, which is fine. And for the size that I had to cook for the meat pie, I'd rather use the oven than the air fryer. But for most of the stuff that I do cook, for around the house, like for snacks, lunches, things of that nature, I'll use the air fryer for those things, like croissants, the cinnamons, things of that nature. So that way they're done and over with, and I don't have to worry about anything else about them. So that's the one thing I like about using the air fryers. and I'm getting used to using it more often than not. Problem is, my mother can't stand for long periods of time in the kitchen, so for her it's not worthwhile because of her legs and all that. So I understand. So that's why I've taken the responsibility of trying to cook around the house for my mom and myself. So I'm slowly getting better there. You know, it's just a matter of time. We all have to start somewhere, right? And it's like the Swedish chef. He was a lousy cook, but he eventually became one of the well-known people. You know, like Ramsay and all that. He got to start off somewhere. Um, at this point, so right now I'm thinking of heading back upstairs to actually get some cine rolls done upstairs because I was actually out when I was doing the grocery shopping for my mom and myself. You see what else I can easily cook up, you know. And besides the what you call it, the apple turnovers, the croissants, the steamer buns are always nice. But sometimes you have big ones here, and then you have the smaller ones. So I'm going to see next time around, maybe get the smaller version instead of getting the one that I have that I've been getting, which is like 5 large ones, and that's humongous. It's like I swear to God, these things are like mountains when cooking. Okay, so and especially doing the air fryer. The thing is with that, I might make instead of 2 tier one shot, I'll just make it 1 tier for both of them because because the ones that I do get are 5 large cinnamon buns, and with that there, if I put one on top of the other, where it's might be 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top ones tend to burn because they're closest to the burner on top, so they tend to get a lot browner than the ones at the bottom. So what I'm planning to do is just put one rack in, cook it, get that one out and put the other one in and do it for the exact same time. So that way I know for sure that it gets nicely toasted and all that, and it's nice and toasted underneath, since it does cook from the bottom and from the top. So that's the one thing I like about it, especially with the grater that I have on it. That's one thing I always love to have it on those things. It's always been helpful for me, and that's basically about it, really, for Saturday. Sunday, I don't think I'm going to be doing one, but we'll see on Sunday. Sunday's another day. And I hope you liked the picture just before this of my girlfriend. Her name is Denise. Very lovely lady. And I'm very fortunate that she and her sister look exactly the same. They're twin sisters. So they look both exactly the same, and I love the sisters together. I love Denise because she's going to be my future wife, hopefully. It's just a matter of time of her coming here, of her meeting up with me actually within the next few months, because she's actually moving closer to where I am over here. So, and hopefully she'll be able to do that on her own. So we want to be together and all that. So, with this being said, I'd like to wish everybody a great weekend. Next Saturday will be my official day. Well, actually, Friday of next week after 9:30, I'll be officially on vacation for 1 week. So the last week of August, and then between December 25th and January the 2nd, I'm on vacation then too. So I come back on the 3rd. So, guys, I'll see you. I'll see you soon enough. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Take care.